Right now at noon, the polls are open for the spring primary. What's on the ballot and how you can still get out to vote. Plus, investigators trying to figure out what happened to a plane crash landing at a Toronto airport. The new video showing the moments leading up to the incident. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us on this Tuesday. I'm Josh Spreiter. We begin with first warn weather as the dangerously cold temperatures have settled in to southern Wisconsin. And we won't be warming up much today. First warn meteorologist Savannah Brito is tracking it all in your certified no sack your forecast. And she's inside today because it is just too cold to be outside, Savannah.
Exactly. We're staying inside one more day. That's when alert conditions will finally be over after we get through Wednesday. By Thursday and Friday, there's a little bit of relief on the way. But yeah, we have very cold wind chills still out there. That's going to remain sub-zero all day today, and even most of tomorrow. The morning, afternoon, and evening hours will finally start to see better wind chills by Thursday. But all of southern Wisconsin dealing with the cold. We're at -8. This is our current wind chill in Madison, -11 in Janesville, -10 in the Dells, -13 in Viroqua. Overnight, though, early this morning, these did drop to -35 in a couple spots. Frostbite can happen when you have wind chills that are as low as that and as little as about 15 minutes. But as you can see, everyone aside of Juneau and Platteville are sub-zero right now. Our air temperature did fall to -11. We'll rise to a high of 8 degrees today, but our average high is 32. So we're nowhere near that, and temperatures will remain below where we should be until we get to Sunday. Even by Saturday, there's a little bit of relief on the way. I'm honestly at this point just looking forward to a high near 20 degrees, Josh. I don't know about you.
That's going to feel so balmy, Savannah. We're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and especially the 40s that we could see by Sunday.
All right. We'll talk to you in the full forecast.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. Well, the cities of Madison, Middleton, and Fitchburg are reminding people of warming centers. Anyone who needs to warm up can use these shelters. You can see a full list of centers with hours and restrictions on channel3000.com. And a reminder, you can download the First Warn weather app for free right now. It has hourly forecasts, road conditions, and radar. Just search WISC weather in your app store. Well, happening now, the Wisconsin spring primary election is underway. If you haven't voted yet, there is still plenty of time to get out and vote. Armand Rahman is live at a polling place on Madison's near west side this afternoon. Armand?
Hey, Josh. Yes, we're here at the Blessed Sacrament School and Church on the near west side, like you said. And since you were here in the News 3 Now this morning show, things really haven't changed since polls have opened. Right now, we saw about 71 voters have come through so far today. Obviously, still a lot of time before 8 p.m. when those polls close. Obviously, both a primary election and the cold weather could be making a dent here in the turnout. One woman did come in to vote so far today, and she said she's the only one that she's seen so far. Now, first, if you do plan on voting still before polls close today, you will need to bring a voter ID to the polls to vote, or some type of ID as well. The Wisconsin Election Commission has a full list of acceptable forms of identification at bringit.wi.gov. And if you don't have any of those, head to the DMV for a free ID for voting. You can also find the necessary documents you'll need on the Wisconsin Department of Transportation's website. Just go to that website and click free for voting. I'll be following polling places throughout Madison and areas surrounding for how the turnout will be today, and I'll bring more on this later on in News 3 Now. For now, reporting on Madison's near west side, Armand Rahman, News 3 Now.
Armand, thank you. As you're heading to the polls, the only statewide nonpartisan race on your ballot will be for the Wisconsin's top education official. There are 3 candidates running. Dr. Jill Underly is seeking a second term. Her challengers are the Sauk Prairie Superintendent Jeff Wright and education consultant Brittany Kinzer. Both Wright and Kinzer do not support Underly's change last summer of lowering the scoring standards for forward tests. Wright believes it will be harder to track student progress post-pandemic by lowering the standards. Meanwhile, Kinzer wants to return Wisconsin schools to high standards. When looking at funding and local referendums, Kinzer believes the money needs to go into the classroom, while Wright says the state over-relies on local property taxes and districts should not have to turn to taxpayers. Underly places the blame on the legislature putting money into private school vouchers. All 3 candidates agree and support finding ways to increase teacher retention in Wisconsin. Our Ellie LaLiberte sat down with all 3 candidates in the weeks leading up to this election, and you can find those full interviews on channel3000.com. 3 seats on the Madison City Council are up for election, starting in District 9, the westernmost district just south of Middleton. Nikki Conklin is the incumbent there. She's served since 2021 and sits on 4 city committees. Rick Cruz is a school finance consultant with the State Department of Public Instruction, and Joanne Pritchett is a co-founder of the African American Health Network. To District 10 on Fitchburg's north border, Yannette Figueroa-Cole is running for re-election. She's also served since 2021. Sherry Carter previously served on the Common Council for 8 years. Lisa Veldrin is a former city council administrator, holding that position for 36 years. Finally, we look at District 12, which encompasses the airport and areas south of it. The incumbent Alder Amani Latimer Burris is seeking a second term in office. Julia Matthews is a programmer analyst at the UW School of Medicine. And Hussein Amak announced last week he had withdrawn because of a family emergency. He will nonetheless appear on District 12 ballots. In each district, the 2 candidates who receive the most votes will advance to the general election on April 1st. The winner will serve until the following April. Well, as the votes come in tonight, you can see the results for yourself on the Channel 3000 mobile app and our website. You can download it right now. Happening tonight, Governor Evers will deliver his biennial state budget address. This will begin at 7 o'clock. Evers has already shared some budget plans. This includes investing more than $80 million on Wisconsin farmers and over $145 million to address PFAS contamination. He also declared 2025 the year of the kid during his State of the State address. He's looking for funding for child care counts programs. This started during the COVID pandemic without funding, and the program is slated to end in June. Evers says after the budget, he will decide on whether to run for re-election. Right now, an investigation is underway into what caused a crash landing of a Delta flight in Toronto. And new at noon, Delta says of the 21 passengers taken to the hospital, 19 have been released. CBS's Tom Hansen is at the scene.
Social media footage shows the moment a Delta Airlines plane skids, catches fire, then flips over at Toronto Pearson International Airport Monday afternoon.
Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
Images of the aftermath show the plane on its top on the tarmac, its wings and tail ripped off, and landing gear pointed towards the sky.
All of a sudden, everything just kind of went sideways. And then the next thing I know is kind of a blink and I'm upside down, still strapped in.
Passenger Pete Carlson told Canadian broadcasters he knew he had to get off the plane quickly.
Took my seatbelt off, which I had obviously left fastened for the landing. And as I took it off, crashed down onto the ceiling, which had become the floor.
Despite the devastating damage, officials say all 80 people on board, including 76 passengers and 4 crew members, survived.
It's really important that we do not speculate. What we can say is the runway was dry and there was no crosswind conditions.
Aviation experts say investigators will now begin a methodical review to piece together what went wrong, taking a close look at weather conditions.
They're going to be looking at things like wind gusts, wind shears, things like that, icing on the runways, the condition of the aircraft, and what the pilots were seeing, thinking, and experiencing.
And Monday's crash marks the 5th high-profile plane crash in the last 3 weeks in North America. And I want to read you a statement from Delta Airlines. They say the hearts of the entire global Delta family are with those affected by today's incident. Tom Hansen, CBS News, Toronto, Canada.
Now, this is the second recent crash involving a U.S. airline. The other was that mid-air collision last month between an Army helicopter and an American Airlines regional jet in Washington, D.C. 67 people died in that crash. Well, still ahead for us on a Tuesday afternoon, why Southwest Airlines is announcing cuts to its workforce, plus the warning from federal and state officials over a text message scam.
Today, federal and state officials are warning Americans that text messages demanding money for unpaid tolls are a scam. The Federal Trade Commission says the link on the text messages could allow scammers to steal a phone owner's personal information as well as money. Officials say the texts impersonate toll collecting agencies nationwide and appear to come from international phone numbers. The Department of Transportation says people should delete and not reply to the messages. Southwest Airlines says it's cutting roughly 15% of its workforce. The layoffs affect more than 1,700 employees who mostly work in corporate and leadership positions. The company says the job cuts should be complete by the end of the year. Southwest said in a statement that the reorganization is expected to, quote, create a leaner and more agile organization. And online searches for terms related to gambling addiction have jumped, according to a new study published by the Journal of the American Medical Association. The report found that searches, which jumped by 23% nationwide, coincide with the spread of legalized online gambling. At least 38 states have opened online sportsbooks, which generated around $150 billion in wagers last year, according to Legal Sports Report. The National Council on Problem Gambling's helpline is 1-800-GAMBLER. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Carissa Lawson.
Here's the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is down 48 points, NASDAQ down 17, and the S&P 500 up 5. Our call for action volunteers are in the building today, taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam Yankee is in with the farm numbers straight ahead, and Savannah returns with the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, our Kyrian Lee shares the deeper meaning of African American hairstyles as we continue celebrating Black History Month. Farm report. Well, what do you think, Farm Babe? Is it cold enough for you outside?
Oh, man, I'll be grateful when we see a slight turn for the positive, and so will my little Sheltie dogs. They look at me like I'm cruel punishment to make them go outside and this kind of stuff, but hopefully things improve. I like the snow. Happy about the snow. Keep the snow coming, just not this sub-zero stuff. Well, yesterday, the cold weather did not deter the enthusiasm or energy of more than 200 FFA members that are celebrating National FFA Week all week long and wanted to share that message with elected officials yesterday, FFA Day at the Hill. One of the major areas that they were advocating for is a $60 million inclusion in the state budget that will be introduced tonight, designed to try to help with our technical education programs all across the state. This would involve about 6 different areas that high school students, for example, are exposed to, like the FFA. One of the people that was on hand yesterday was Dr. Jill Underley. She said that the monies that they're looking for in the state budget would be used to try to help shore up the financial standings of some of our FFA advisors. Remember, to be an FFA advisor, you have to contract for 12 months out of the year versus a more traditional teacher's contract that allows them the summers off. Some of the busiest times for our FFAs are during the summer. So this would help to offset some of the expense of travel and maybe even give FFA chapters the opportunity to offset expenses like dues for those new members. So we'll wait and see. We know that the governor's got big plans in his proposed executive budget for Wisconsin agriculture, and $60 million of that may also be included as far as the Department of Public Instruction. We'll wait and see what happens there. Markets are about as chilly today as our weather forecast is. Barrel cheese in Chicago down 1/4 cent at 181.5. 40-pound block cheese on a Tuesday unchanged at 192. The AA butter that gained 3 1/4 cents for a Tuesday, up to $2.41 a pound. And the egg market continues to rally on. Josh, I'm continuing to get a lot of questions from consumers about what's going on. And let's just say that there's a whole lot of roosters and chickens that got to get together for us to be able to overcome the need for eggs out there and get things busy. It's going to be a while before you see much relief in those egg prices.
Yeah, day by day. I've got 2 eggs left in my fridge, and I'm like, how long can I wait? How long can I wait?
Yeah, the shock. Have somebody there to catch you when you go to buy the next dozen.
Oh, exactly. All right, Farm Babe, good to see you on a Tuesday.
All right, buddy. See you later.
We'll talk to you later. A reminder, the Spirit of Service campaign is underway as we look to honor our local veterans, making a positive impact in the community. News 3 Now is proud to partner with Vortex and giving back to veterans. All you have to do is log on to channel3000.com and nominate a veteran in your life doing something good. Over the coming weeks, we'll be sharing their stories, and you'll get to vote and choose which veteran gets to take home a $5,000 cash prize. A winner will be announced in early April. Well, another day of bitterly cold temperatures. First Warn meteorologist Savannah Brito has the forecast, and we're almost through. We're almost there, Savannah.
Yeah, we got to make it through Wednesday, and then we'll see a little bit of relief by Thursday and Friday. All of southern Wisconsin, we're still tracking your alert day conditions because of those wind chills. Even this afternoon, those chills are down to what feels like -10 to -15 across some of the area. And we have another cold weather advisory that will go into effect later at midnight. 3 only. That's our air temperature, but when you factor in those wind chills, we're much cooler. The silver lining, the sunshine, doesn't really help make things feel that much better out there, though. 4 p.m., 8 degrees, so that'll be our high for the afternoon. Again, with tomorrow, temperatures climbing a little bit steadily, but not by much. Most of the area is still seeing sub-zero chills, although there are a few outliers. 1 in Platteville, 1 in Mineral Point. 4 is what it feels like outside with the wind chill factored in the Dells. We're sitting at -8. That's what it feels like outside of Madison, -12 in Lone Rock, and -11 degrees in Janesville. This is the cold weather advisory that I was talking about. Well northwest of the area, there is still an extreme cold warning in place. That will go into effect tonight. This for us, midnight, and that'll last until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So not quite as long as what we had seen the last couple of days, but still tracking dangerously low wind chills in the forecast tonight. And as little as 15 minutes when you have wind chills that are as low as what we're going to see tonight. Frostbite can happen in as little as 15 minutes. Wind chills are probably going to get down to at least -25, although a couple of spots could get as low as -30 to -35. Wind chills basically when wind takes heat away from the body, and it can only be felt by living things. Tips though, you can definitely wear multiple layers. Stay indoors if you can. Also, be sure to dress with warm clothes, the jacket, the boots, the hat. You want everything. In your home, though, and even in your vehicles, these dangerously low wind chills can become hazardous. Protect your pipes and insulate drafts in your vehicle. Check your car battery. Make sure you at least have half a tank of gas. Make sure that it's at least half a tank, but if not, definitely fill your car up. And make sure your phone is fully charged. There is relief on the way, though. Look at the orange color. That's about a 40 to 50% chance of seeing a flip-flop above average temperatures. And in the deep south, across Arizona, California, Nevada, Utah, they're even going to experience well above average temperatures. Here's some silver lining. We're 11 days away from meteorological spring, so thinking warm thoughts this afternoon to get us through the cold spell. And then the spring equinox, only 30 days away, so we have just about another month to go. And then temperatures should rebound. We did see Jimmy, he did not see its shadow, so seeing and hoping for that early spring. But the sunshine, that'll continue not so much tomorrow, but the latter half of the week as temperatures slowly start to warm and we're back up to 20, should see mostly sunny skies. Even over the weekend, tracking that, little to no precipitation, and we're finally back to maybe 40. I think a couple of us across southern Wisconsin could do it. What do you think, Josh?
Wow, that's going to feel insane, isn't it?
So much better than 3 degrees we have right now. Yeah.
Loving
Talk about
that,
a warm up.
Yes, above average outlook.
Exactly.
We're gonna do it.
It's much better than the opposite, the latter half below average.
We deserve it.
Yes,
All
we
right,
do.
Savannah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Howard has an easy to prepare main dish in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Weeknight cooking shouldn't be a chore, and with this easy as can be recipe, it's not. Backwoods country cooking is very in these days, and it proves that the most basic down-home recipes, you know, the ones many of us grew up on, are still what we're looking for, because they're easy to throw together, they're budget-friendly, and the leftovers are just as good as the original. Well, let's take a look at what we can do with a few basics. We cook some pasta according to the package directions, and we drain it. Now, we're using elbows, but egg noodles or spirals work just as well. Now, while the pasta drains, we brown some ground beef with a few seasonings, a chopped onion, and a green pepper. Now, once that's cooked, we toss that mixture into the same pot along with a couple cans of tomato soup, a can of creamed corn, and a generous amount of cheese. Now we add the cooked pasta, give it a good mix, and into a casserole dish it goes. And that's it. And the greatest thing about this is that you can freeze it before baking it, so you have a simple make-ahead dish that's ready whenever you are. Either way, you bake it off for 45 minutes or so, and you're done. And when you serve this cheesy, beefy baked casserole, get ready for easy country cooking that'll have everyone running to the table. Yep, The recipe for hillbilly pasta bake is online now, so you can whip up an all-in-one casserole in a laid-back style. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for an easier way to say, ooh, it's so good.
Good day for some comfort food, Savannah.
Yeah, you really need that. I actually got an iced coffee, so I went the wrong way this afternoon. But anything to get you through the day, caffeine definitely needed. Alert day conditions, we have the cold still in place across southern Wisconsin. Our air temperature currently sitting at 3. Thinking we can make it to 8 still. The sunshine out there not really helping. The winds are still driving wind chills to be in place across the area. That can be expected. Most of us will still see sub-zero chills all day. We drop to -6 again tonight. And then the rest of the 10-day forecast finally gets better. 28 by Saturday, 39 by Sunday. And I'm just looking forward to those 40s by Monday. I think a couple areas could even hit that as early as Sunday.
All right, Savannah, thank you. Thanks for joining us today at noon. Have a great afternoon. We'll see you back here